You know shit's about to get real this week when I bust out the tie that is totally not matching the shirt. But nonetheless, that is not important. That is neither here or there. Let's talk about what's going to happen this week. AMC has earnings. There's economic data that comes out. There's the possibility of a gamma squeeze. I think all of this information is relevant for each and every single one of you guys to know. We're also going to talk about other earnings from other companies, ones that I am specifically looking at that could offer you guys a potentially big return as well, and how I plan to trade them. So let's get straight into this video. Hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, well, because it is free 99, and you know, that's just what you do, is hit the like button and subscribe to the video to help push this information out to as many people as possible. Now, nonetheless, if at any point in this video you guys feel like you want to join the trading community, link down below in the description of this video. Obviously, no pressure. It's not financial advice. You win some, you lose some, but hopefully you win more than you lose. Am I right? Let's get into this video, guys. So first things first, Friday was not a very positive day for AMC. It wasn't a terrible day. Down about 1% in regular trading, down almost 2% in after hours trading. And given the price of the stock is at $5, when I say you're down 3% total in a day, you're really only down 15 cents on the stock. And really from these levels here, you know, heading into earnings, a potentially very big catalyst, my expectation is the stock's going to rally or drop 20+% coming on earnings. It makes a lot more sense at a fundamental valuation that it's at right now. It's very much at its fundamental valuation, if not under its fundamental valuation, just depending on what level of growth you give the company. And I think, like we talked about over the last couple of videos, I think it was 5 or 10 videos now, that essentially competition is going away with movie theaters going out of business due to COVID. AMC is gaining market share literally by doing nothing because competition is going out of business. So it'll be interesting to hear what is said on the conference call and what the guidance is for Q4. I don't expect these numbers that we will get reported earnings for Tuesday afternoon after markets close. I don't expect the Q3 numbers to be very good, but I do expect some rock solid guidance, and that's really what the markets care about. They don't care about what happened over the last 3 months unless you found diamonds or struck gold in your location, theoretically speaking. The markets care about the next 3 months, the next 6 months, the next 12 months, and I think that is going to be exceptionally bullish for AMC. If you guys are unaware and you don't know for whatever reason, you definitely want to subscribe to the channel, but you have huge blockbuster films coming out very, very shortly. You have Black Panther, the sequel, coming out just next week, and then you also have December 16th, Avatar 2 coming out. And Avatar, the original, was the top grossing movie of all time, right ahead of Avengers Endgame, and that box office total was over $3 billion. So if there's movies that are going to bring out an audience, I think it's going to be those, and it is going to be for the current quarter. So for Q4, that will be reported earnings in 2023, and I think just the guidance of those specific films can be very big, and you will also have more big films coming out, but those are the specific names that I want to watch. After all, Avatar 1 was a hit, and I would be very surprised if that box office is not at least $1.5–2 billion here very shortly, and AMC is going to be a prime beneficiary of that. Now, nonetheless, as far as other earnings to watch out for this upcoming week, nothing that's going to move the markets in a big way, but these stocks do have the potential to move pretty big. And Monday and after hours, you have Lyft, Activision, Take-Two Interactive. Those are the three that I will be watching. I won't be making any trades on those stocks unless you can get a move essentially before earnings, right? So if we wake up tomorrow and you see that Lyft got some bad news, there's downgrades, whatever it is, and the stock's going down, and you can play a large position and make some contracts free, that's what I would look to do heading into earnings. But I don't want to gamble my actual money on these earnings in particular. I don't have a strong enough bear or bull thesis on any of these names to do that. Now, Tuesday pre-market, you have Norwegian Cruise Line. That's pretty much the only one that I would even care to look at or read the earnings call on. And I don't expect anything too crazy out of them. Tuesday after hours, that is going to be the head honcho pretty much of this week. And you have Walt Disney. That is going to be the largest company by market cap for sure that the markets actually care about that will be reporting earnings. And that one is a little bit interesting. If I can make a directional trade coming tomorrow and make some free options, whether they are calls or puts, that's what I'm going to do. The key here in this market environment is making contracts free, because yes, sometimes contracts can pay out a lot. We just had a trade in the trading community that hit very, very well. They can pay out good, but you don't want to put your money on the line to actually make a return, right? You don't want to risk the stock going against you 20%. You're going to lose all your value on those options if you are on the wrong side of it. So those are the major earnings: Walt Disney, AMC, Upstart, Plug, Lucid, Affirm. I do own positions in some of these, especially Affirm, obviously AMC, and a smaller position in Disney. So those are the ones that I do want to watch. Wednesday pre-market, the trade desk. Guys, that is one that I really want to make a trade on. If we get any downside movement Monday or Tuesday, I am going to be going pretty large on that, probably a couple $1,000s, hoping to make $500, $1,000 of free puts. I don't want to go calls with Trade Desk. Trade Desk is an advertiser company, and we know the environment for advertisers is not good, and there is a lot of meat on the bone with TTD, and that is something that I particularly don't like, because that means that the markets are really not expecting Trade Desk to see the same slowdown in advertising that other people have seen. And there's literally no advertisement company out there in the markets, at least that is well known, that has said that advertising is great, right? Nobody has said that. And look at where this stock is at. Your COVID crash level was $13.60. This stock's sitting at $46. There's a lot of potential for this thing to come down in a big way, and that's what I'm looking to do, looking to make some positioning free to the downside in Trade Desk. And that is really the big one besides AMC and Walt Disney that I want to watch out for this week, and I think could give you a pretty big return. Now, Wednesday after hours, you have Rivian, Dutch Bros, Wynn Resorts. Those are going to be big. Beyond Meat as well. Thursday pre-market, you have Neo, Yeti, and Six Flags. Thursday after hours, you have Matterport and Aurora Cannabis. That is going to do it for this week's earnings. The bigger story is going to be economic data that will come out, and you really don't have much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's really not too much. Besides Thursday, you have CPI data, inflation rate year over year for October, and the core inflation rate year over year for October, initial jobless claims and continuing jobless claims, and all of that coming out at 9:30 in the morning sharp. I do expect this day to be a 3+% day to the positive or to the negative. So also be prepared for that in your guys' actual positioning. Now, after that, at 10 o'clock in the morning, you have Fed Harker that speaks, obviously, on Thursday. 10:35 a.m., you have Fed Logan that speaks as well. Depending on what they say after the CPI report, it could be very big, and they could give us some indications what to expect. Potentially a 25 basis point rate hike. That's not even priced into the markets. That would be very, very bullish. If CPI is negative, it comes in too high, well, you're probably going to get the markets pricing in a 75 basis point rate hike, and you're probably going to get a 3% plus down day on Thursday. Now, on Friday, you have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Survey for November. That comes out at 11 o'clock in the morning, and that is going to be the big data point after CPI. Mix the two together, and you could be setting up for a real shit show or potentially a major bounce in the markets. I really don't think there's any other way out of it at this point. Markets are expecting CPI. Let's actually go see what the markets are expecting for the CPI report, and we are expecting inflation year over year to come in at 8%, core inflation to come in at 6.5%. So it's not a huge drop from last reading at 8.2% for inflation just year over year, and core inflation at 6.6%. You're not expecting a huge drop. So if you do better than that and you can actually get a decent size drop, well, that would be a very positive thing. Same thing, if this comes in higher it's not going to be good as well. So there is that information for all of you beautiful people. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the Ortex data and talk AMC, a little bit of the technicals as well. So we can see as far as option activity for last week, 49 orders totaling $3.15 million, positive order value of 29%. It has not been very good in the options market for AMC, but there still is a lot of options on the actual chain, specifically for November 18th, that if we do get a 20% plus rally on earnings, which keep in mind, like I said earlier, it's going to be a 20% move up or a 20% move down, almost virtually no matter which way you put it. There is a potential to see a gamma squeeze, and I do think that is the more likely outcome, but it's also not a guarantee, so keep that in mind. And I'm not a financial advisor. Come to your own conclusions. Contact one if you need to, if you need a little bit of path guidance, whatever you want to call it. Contact a financial advisor. I don't think you guys are in that boat. I think you guys got this under control, though. Nonetheless, the live short interest of free float is sitting at 20.5%. The amount of shares that is currently sold short sits at 105.66 million shares, with a cost to borrow max at 36.23% and a cost to borrow average at 18.39%. Cost to borrow minimum sitting down there at 0.35%. So all in all, I would say this is very, very bullish. Over 20% short interest is literally categorized as extremely high short interest, given AMC has a community behind it, and you could potentially see a lot of people just trying to play any kind of upside move. Institutional investors, hedge funds, large just players in the markets, retail. I think if AMC does get a rally, and especially if the markets can be bullish at the same time, that would be good. If the markets are bearish at the same time, well, you might actually start to squeeze out some of those margin calls and get AMC to go even more parabolic on top of that. So there is that as far as the Ortex data. Not too much else to actually report here to you guys. If we take a look at the technicals on AMC, I think that is definitely important to do. Like I said, with fundamental valuation, you're a lot closer to that fundamental valuation, if not well under, in my opinion, that fundamental valuation. It's really a different story than anything else we've talked about since AMC went through any kind of rally. Back here in 2021, movie theaters weren't even open when this thing went through its first short squeeze. The fundamental picture, dollar for dollar, market share for market share, is a lot better right now than it has been ever. So I don't think it will take a lot to actually rally the stock. Now, as far as the actual technicals here, yes, we are very oversold. It has been a pretty slow and steady move down for the past couple of weeks now, but we're still, in the grand scope of things, we still haven't moved around all too much from the levels that we were at in June. Nonetheless, the RSI is severely oversold and the MACD is oversold as well. If we do get a beat to earnings and, the stock can really rally, the potential here is very, very large. The 50, 100, 200-day moving averages are in between $9 and $13. So that would be an upside even to the first moving average. Just go ahead and pull it up. That would be an upside move of about 64.5%, and I very much think that is possible if you can get a beat to earnings and you can get people excited about the stock, which I do think would happen. Now, again, just a quick reminder, you guys also want to watch the dollar. You can do this by watching UUP. It's Invesco DB US dollar bullish index. Essentially, this is how people track the dollar. This going up is bad. If the dollar goes down, that is very, very positive. The dollar was down almost 2% on Friday. It's no wonder the NASDAQ, the Dow, and the S&P were up about 1.5%, but not everything was playing along as well. So you want to watch to see who are the winners and losers depending on what this data is saying. Now, at the same time, the bonds did not play along on Friday. When bonds go down, and you can monitor this watching TLT, when these go down, it's very, very negative. You're definitely seeing a huge liquidity crisis in the bond market. TLT was down about 1.68% on Friday. When this goes up, it means bond yields are actually going down, meaning interest rates are going lower. When this chart goes down, interest rates are going higher, and I think it's pretty easy to tell this was the COVID crash. Rates were super low, super low all the way until you got to 2022, and this is what you've seen since 2022. It's down like 35%. Let's go ahead and briefly, for shits and giggles, take a look at what bond yields have done, or the price of TLT, I should say. It's down 32%. A firm 32% in 2022. That is very negative. So you want to watch what happens with the dollar and with bond yields as well, but also the Fed futures market. What the markets start to price in heading into the CPI report could give you a little bit of an indication of potentially how CPI is going to turn out. And as of right now, 61.5% of market participants are expecting a 50 basis point rate hike. 38.5% of market participants are expecting a 50 basis point or a 75 basis point rate hike. So the odds right now are looking like a 50 basis point rate hike overall. Watch all of these things. If you guys have questions on anything that was said here in this video, go down below in the comment section. Just let me know. We will definitely clear anything up for you if you do have questions. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is the option activity briefly on AMC. If you did not see the last video, the potential for a gamma squeeze is here, specifically for November 18th. About 3,700 calls that are out of the money at the $6 strike, about 10,000 out of the money at the $7 strike, 7,200 at the $7.50 strike, and about 20,000 at the $8 strike. Then you got 5,000, 7,000, 14,000 in between the $8 strike and the $10 strike. So there's definitely a lot of option activity, and the premiums are very cheap. So if you get a lot of those weekly options being bought, the break evens are going to be very, very close. Essentially, the stock's not going to have to move up a lot before the market makers would actually go out and have to buy stock to hedge their position. So I think the overwhelming majority of this information points to a very positive reaction coming after earnings. But keep in mind, guys, anything can happen with AMC here in 2022. So that is going to be all for this video. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, source your comments, questions, or concerns down below in the comment section. Like I said, if you guys want to come trade with me live in real time, link down below in the description of this video as well. You guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one.